Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's discussion will be about evaluation of deductive and inductive argument. Deductive argument can evaluated by its validity, invalidity, sound and unsound. Valid argument is a deductive argument in which the conclusion follow with strict necessity from the premises. And valid argument is also about the appropriate form or structure of an argument. Invalid argument, on the other hand, the conclusion doesn't follow with strict necessity from the conclusion, because of its inappropriate form or structure of an argument. Sound means having true statements or premises. Unsound means having false statements or premises. Valid argument could be either sound or unsound. However, an invalid always unsound. Let's see some examples. Example 1. All historians are liar. Peter is an historian. Hence, Peter is a liar. The first two statements are called premises, and the last statement indicated by the word therefore is called conclusion. Here, if we assume that all historians are liars, and Peter is a historian, then there is no way that Peter could not be a liar. Consequently, the conclusion follows with strict necessity from the argument. So the argument is deductive and valid, but it is unsound because it has one false premise that all historians are liars. Example 2. All historians are liar. Peter is a liar. Therefore, Peter is historian. Here, what makes this example different from the first one is by its form or structure. The first premise says that all historians are liars. And the second premise says Peter is a liar. The problem here is that Peter shouldn't be a liar first. He should be a historian because the first premise doesn't say that all liars are historians, instead, it says all historians are liars. Therefore, Peter has to be a historian before he has to be a liar. As a result of this argument's inappropriate form or structure, the argument is deductive, invalid, and unsound. We have said the argument is unsound because invalid arguments are always unsound. Therefore, the argument is deductive, invalid, and unsound. Example 3. The White House has the shape of pentagon, it follows that White House has 5 sides. In this example, the conclusion is followed by defining the word pentagon. That is mentioned in the premises. This argument is specifically said to be an argument from definition. And the conclusion follows with strict necessity by defining the word pentagon. Therefore, the argument is said to be valid but unsound because it has false premises. The false premises is that the White House has the shape of a pentagon. Example 4. If Japan didn't attack the USA's Pearl Harbor fleet, then the USA wouldn't attack the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The USA attacks the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. As a result, Japan attacked the US fleet at Pearl Harbor. Here, the antecedent is if Japan wouldn't attack the USA's Pearl Harbor fleet. And the consequent is the USA wouldn't attack the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So here, Japan should first attack the USA fleet, in order to drive the USA to make an attack on Japan's cities. However, in this argument, it is the consequent that comes first. And this leads us to say that the argument is a deductive argument. Or more specifically a hypothetical syllogism, but it is invalid. The argument is invalid because the second premise comes with the consequent. And in principle, it is not the consequent that should come first but the antecedent. For the validity of this argument, the antecedent should come first, followed by the conclusion, which is the consequent. Therefore, the argument is deductive, invalid, and unsound. Example 5. All Americans vote for Republicans. No, Republicans are not conservatives. Hence, no American votes for conservatives. This argument is clearly deductive, or more specifically, a categorical syllogism. Let's examine the validity of the argument. The first statement asserts that there are no Americans who cannot vote Republican. Or, in other words, all Americans vote Republican, and the second premise also asserts that there are no Republicans who are conservatives. Therefore, there is no way that American can vote conservative because there are no Republicans who are conservatives at all. As a result, the conclusion follows from the argument with strict necessity and is said to be valid. Therefore, the argument is deductive and valid. Now let's move to the evaluation of inductive argument. Inductive argument can be evaluated by its strongness, weakness, cogent and uncogent. Strong argument is an inductive argument and the conclusion follow with the high probability from the given evidence. Weak argument is an inductive argument and the conclusion follow with low probability from the given premises. Cogent means having true statements or premise. Uncogent means having false statements or premises. Strong argument could be either cogent or uncogent. However, weak argument are always uncogent. Let's see some examples. Example 1. Mr. Derrick is an expert on biology and argues that the current economic difficulties in Africa are due to civil war. As a result, according to Derrick, the civil war in Africa is the major problem in the economic life of African societies. Let's examine this example. Mr. Derrick is an expert on biology. However, his argument doesn't fit with his profession. His argument is particularly related to economics, and after all, he is not an economist to provide genuine evidence about economic issues at all. So the conclusion that is drawn is both inductive and weak. We have said it is weak because Mr. Derrick's profession does not fit with the explanation. Example 2. Russia and Ukraine are facing economic difficulties due to the war they have with each other. It follows that the whole world is facing economic difficulties due to the war between Russia and Ukraine. Here, the selected samples are Russia and Ukraine. And if both countries are facing economic challenges, that does not lead us to say that the whole world is facing economic challenges. The argument proceeds from selected samples to whole groups, which is often called an argument from generalization. So the argument is inductive and weak. And all weak arguments are weak. Example 3. Z Nation is a series of movies in which all of the actors are white. It is about zombies, and the movies were filmed on a budget of $700,000 per episode. And the latest film, The Village, which is about zombies, also has exclusively white actors. As a result, the Village series will have a budget of less than $700,000 per episode. The mere similarity of having a white actor and being about zombies doesn't lead us to conclude that the other series movies will have the same budget as the Z Nation series movies. Therefore, the argument is an inductive argument, specifically an argument from analogy, and it is a weak argument. Example 4. All series movies are produced, directed, and underwritten in the USA. As a result, the next series of movies will almost certainly be produced, directed, and produced in the United States. Here, if we stand by the assumption that all series movies throughout the world are produced and directed in the USA, then there is a high probability that the next series movies will be produced and directed in the USA. Therefore, the conclusion follows with high probability from the premises and is said to be inductive and strong. However, it is uncogent because it has the false premise that all series movies are not actually produced only in the USA.